Okay, bang, bang, bang. My gavel is in. We are gaveling in the meeting of the Public Facilities Commission today, and I'd like to introduce the other members. I'm Catherine Craven, the chairwoman, and Commissioner Mamoli.
Present.
And I think that's it for today. So moving along.
Thank you, Chair Craven, and good morning, Commissioners. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast live. I'm Seamus Hyland, filling in for the PFC Legal Advisor, T.T. Lee. Before we get started, I have asked Colleen Daly, the PFC Secretary, to take a roll call of the meeting participants today. Secretary Daly, if you would please conduct the roll call.
Thank you, Seamus. Participants, please unmute yourself, your device, and confirm your presence when I call your name. Beginning roll call with the Commission. Catherine Craven, Chair.
Present.
Larry Mamoli, Commissioner.
Present.
Seamus Hyland, Assistant Corp Counsel.
Present.
Next with D&D, Sheila Dillon, Chief and Director.
Present.
Karen Rabaza, Assistant Director, Boston Home Center.
Present.
Kelly Shea, Senior Development Officer, NHD.
Present.
Joseph Backer, Housing Development Officer, NHD.
Present.
Shani Fletcher, Development Officer, NHD. Shani? I'm sorry, I can't. Thank you.
Oh, I said present.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
Yep.
I'll read for the record the remainder of the individuals who are in attendance but will not be presenting in today's meeting. Attendees, you do not need to unmute. James McDonough. James McDonough, Senior Staff Attorney for D&D. Maureen Flynn, Deputy Director, Boston Home Center. Jessica Boatwright, Deputy Director, NHD. And, okay, Julianne Berlando, Intern, Law Department. Catherine Jones, Law Department Assistant Corp Counsel. And this concludes the roll call. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. This morning, we're also pleased to have Sheila Dillon, who is the Chief and Director for the Department of Neighborhood Development, with us today. D&D has 5 votes on the agenda before the PFC. Vote number 1 is being presented by Karen Rabaza, Assistant Director for the Boston Home Center Division. Vote number 1 is a request to accept and expend a grant from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Division of Banks to implement foreclosure prevention counseling services. Grant amount is $225,625. Karen, if you would please present vote number 1.
Thanks. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Karen Rabaza, and I'm the Assistant Director for the Boston Home Center, Home Buying Services. This year, the Division of Banks awarded a $2.5 million in grants. The grants support first-time home ownership counseling programs for regional foreclosure educational centers. The funding is possible through administrative fees associated with the licensure of loan originators according to Chapter 255F of the Massachusetts General Laws. D&D was awarded these funds to support foreclosure activities through the calendar year of 2021 to implement foreclosure prevention as regional foreclosure educational centers for the calendar year of 2021. Funds will be used for the technical assistance of our nonprofit partners agencies contracted to provide regional foreclosure prevention counseling services to Boston homeowners. Our nonprofit contractors are chosen through a publicity advertised RFP process. These nonprofit partners provide free foreclosure counseling to Boston homeowners. Our current nonprofit partners are Urban Edge, ABCD Mattapan Family Service Center, and ESAC, Ecumenical Social Action Committee. Funds will be also used to provide marketing for the program and staff foreclosure training, and for a technical assistance pilot program for small condominium associations with members facing foreclosure. The additional funds will allow D&D to increase home preservation services for homeowners who are struggling with housing expenses, especially due to the pandemic. With housing expenses, especially due to the pandemic, This fiscal year, D&D assisted 59 homeowners with these services. The Boston Home Center and our partners provide free and confidential foreclosure prevention and intervention services to owner-occupied Boston homeowners. In FY21, D&D completed 168 intakes and helped 133 homeowners avoiding foreclosure, 47 of whom received loan modification, 47% who received the loan modification, and 44% of whom received home preservation services. With this funding, we will be able to fund some of the contracts for our nonprofit partners, agencies, and increase to expand our marketing of the program. With the current COVID-19 crisis ending, many homeowners are still struggling with economic conditions that are impacting their ability to repay the mortgages. Unfortunately, we are anticipated that the need for the foreclosure services will increase significantly within the next 3 to 6 months as the foreclosure moratorium ends by the end of this July. Through these contracts, we will be able to serve a minimum of 150 clients and continue the counseling work to 130 existing clients. These funding should result in at least 160 more positive resolutions, and the average cost per client is about $1,000 per case. Thank you very much, and I'm open to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
No questions. I put a motion to approve.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vote number 1 is hereby approved. Vote number 2 is being presented by Kelly Shea, Senior Development Officer with the Neighborhood Housing Development Division. Vote 2 is a request for conveyance to Morton Station Owner, LLC, for vacant land located at 872 Morton Street and an unnumbered parcel on Hopkins Street in Mattapan. The purchase price is recommended at $200. Kelly, if you would please present vote number 2.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Kelly Shea. I'm a Housing Development Officer in Department of Neighborhood Development in Neighborhood Housing Division. I'm here today requesting PFC approval of a conveyance of to Morton Street Station, LLC, a nominee comprised of principals from the Caribbean Integrated Community Development Corp. in the Planning Office of Urban Affairs, for a parcel identified in package number 2 of the vote today in the Mattapan neighborhood of Boston. D&D conducted a lengthy public process that resulted in this vote. The original community meeting was held to discuss the development of the parcels on March 24th in 2016. A request for proposals was issued on July 5th, 2016, and advertised in the State Central Register and the Boston Herald. The eligible development team was invited to a community meeting to present their proposals on November 15 of 2016. This commission, Public Facilities, approved the tentative designation developer of a nominee comprised of principals from the Caribbean Integration Community Development and Planning Office for Urban Affairs on February 17th of 2017. The designation was advertised as city record on March 13th and March 20th, 2017. The tentative designation time extensions were approved by this commission on March 14th, 2018 and March 11th of 2020. D&D and the development team have met many times with the community and continue to do so to listen to the community's ideas, concerns, and to make the project overall the best that it can possibly be. The vote package that the commissioners that you have includes a comprehensive memo about the project and the PFC vote request. I've also provided a handout, and I'm going to share my screen now, if that's okay with everybody. Host disabled participation. I think I need access to share my screen. I'll try it again. So I'm not allowed to share yet, so I can just go on. Colleen?
Yep,
are you trying?
I'll look into that.
Shawnee, do you have access to share?
I got the same error. Just now tried.
Okay.
We
All right,
give it a minute, Kelly, to see if it can get fixed.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's just get a minute.
Okay, no problem.
I'm not sure what's happening. You know what, Kelly, if you could go on with your presentation and let me see if I can try to figure this out.
Sure,
Sorry,
no worries.
I apologize.
No worries. All right, so I was planning to present 5 screens to give you folks an overview of where the property and the project is located, 872 Morton Street, and an adjoining property that faces Hopkins Street. And if we can get it up, I'll show you exactly where they are. The second image that I was going to present was an image of the current site, the existing buildings around it, and kind of give you an idea of the neighborhood and abutting properties. And then I was going to also give you, in slide 5, it was an aerial view of the site. It showed where the building was going to be located on the 2 parcels, but it was also going to give you an overview of the soon-to-be Stephen P. Odom Serenity Garden, which was always a part of this RFP. We've worked very closely with the Parks Department and the Odom family on designing this park, the plans, what's going to be in it, how the park is going to be situated. The park it's going to be, you know, it's going to be like a serenity space for the Odom family, in memorial to Stephen, their son. It's going to be, you know, a place for just the community to come for, you know, to be at peace and kind of remember Stephen and the others in our community. I think the Odoms are very happy with where we are at the park, but we'll continue to make progress on that. The park itself will probably
Kelly, the slides seem to be up.
Oh, great.
Sorry
No,
about
that's good.
that.
No problem. So are you going to share,
Yeah, I'll do my
Colleen?
best.
Because it's not letting me do it still.
Yep, that's fine. If you can
All
you
right.
see it okay on
Yep,
your
so great.
screen?
So
All
if
right.
we could just go back, that would be perfect. So this is 872 Morton Street. This is where it's located, right on Morton Street. It's a pretty big vacant parcel that the city's owned for close to 20 years. You can go to the next one, Colleen. So this is street view. You can see the vacant there. The 2 bottom pictures are actually of the lot itself. You can see there's a pretty significant dip there, and it's just overgrown. We try to maintain it as best we can. Next slide, Colleen. So this is a picture of what the building is going to look like. Looks a little distorted when it's completed. Next picture, Colleen. And this is a view of what that building would look like in the context of the existing buildings there now. Next one. So this is the picture I was talking about, where you can see the back of the parcels. The building is in the kind of orangish, and then the back of the parcel, there's roughly about 9,000 square feet that's going to be the Stephen P. Odom Serenity Garden. That's a layout of the design right now. We're kind of fine-tuning that, as I said, in conjunction with the community and the Odoms. The actual construction of the park will start once we get substantial completion of the apartment buildings completed. So the affordable housing components, that building right there, Colleen, I'm done with the presentation. That's everything. Thank you very much. The affordable housing component contains a total of 40 new housing units. There will be 28 rentals and 12 ownership units, which is slightly different than the last time I was at the PRC presentation. The total number of units have not changed. We have just increased the affordable ownerships by 3 and reduce the number of rental units by 3. The units will have a range of affordability levels in both the rental side and the ownership side. In the rental, it'll be 30% to 100% area median income, and the new ownership units will be for first-time home buyers between 80 and 100% of area median income. The sale of these parcels is expected to yield both short and long-term financial benefits to the city by removing the parcel from D&D's inventory, and the city will avoid future costs and liabilities associated with maintaining the property. We will save additional annual operating costs for things like lot clearance, mowing, and snow removal by transferring the property to the Caribbean Integrated Community Development and the Planning Office for Urban Affairs. In addition, by returning these parcels, by selling these parcels, we return them to the tax rolls, and the city will recoup annual property tax revenue. That's it for my presentation. I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioner?
Sounds like a great project. Motion to approve?
So seconded, and all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Vote number 2 is hereby approved. Vote number 3 is being presented by Joseph Backer, Development Officer in the Neighborhood Housing Development Division. Vote 3 is a request for conveyance to 2147 LIHTC Owner LLC for vacant land located at discontinued unnumbered Ballinger Place, former private way, 2147 through 2149 Washington Street, and 2159 through 2163 Washington Street in Roxbury. The purchase price is recommended at $300. Joseph, please present vote number 3.
Thank you very much, and good morning all. I'm here requesting PFC's approval of the conveyance of the parcels identified in the vote package to 2147 LIHTC Owner LLC, which is a nominee as a joint partnership between New Atlantic Development and Dream Development. The parcels are located in the Roxbury neighborhood of Boston in Nubian Square. As background, D&D issued the RFP for this site on July 16th, 2018. The RFP release followed a more than 2-year process of public engagement, including over a dozen community meetings, to identify development objectives for 4 city-owned sites in Nubian Square. D&D advertised the RFP in the Central Register and Boston Herald. 4 applications were received for the parcels identified in this vote package. All of the proposals were posted online, and D&D held community meetings in February and April of 2019 to review the proposals and field questions and comments from the public. A community-led project review committee was convened in January of 2019 and met through May of 2019 to review all of the proposals and recommend a development team for each city-owned site. Based on the recommendation of D&D as well as the community-led committee, PFC approved the tentative developer designation of the joint partnership on July 17th, 2019. Since that time, the development team has proceeded with pre-development tasks and is now prepared to finalize project financing and begin construction as soon as possible. The vote package includes a comprehensive memo about the project and the vote request. I've also provided 3 handouts. Colleen, would you like me to share my screen?
You know what, let me just.
Perfect.
Sorry about that, give me 1 second. Okay,
Thanks so much.
you're welcome.
This first slide is a locus map showing the site in Nubian Square. The next slide is a recent rendering of the proposed development on this site. And the third slide is a view from the street of the current site. In summary, if PFC approves this vote request, it will allow the project to continue and will result in the following public benefits. The creation of 74 new housing units, including 62 rental and 12 home ownership units. Of those, all of the rental units and 8 of the 12 homeownership units will be affordable and income restricted. The Haley House Bakery and Cafe, which is a respected and important community presence in Roxbury and is located on the site, will be significantly improved with an expanded cafe and the new street front space. The development will also include shared art studio workspace, community retail and commercial space, and a common area and community room. The improvement of the city-owned parcels, which are currently used for surface parking and additional tax revenues annually of approximately $76,651, and the creation of 136,794 construction hours. So I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions, Commissioner Lamoli?
No questions. Again, good project. Good job DND continually does on these parcels. Motion to approve.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Vote number 3 is hereby approved. Vote number 4 is being presented by Shani Fletcher, Development Officer, Neighborhood Housing Development Division. Vote number 4 is a request for conveyance to the Boston Food Forest Coalition Incorporated for vacant land located at 632 Morton Street in Mattapan. The purchase price is recommended at $100. Shani, if you would please present vote number 4.
Yes, and good morning, Commissioners. I'm here requesting PSC approval for the conveyance to Boston Food Forest Coalition Incorporated, hereafter referred to as BFFC, for the parcel identified in the vote package in the Mattapan section of Boston. This matter was last before you in April of 2021 when PFC voted to approve the tentative developer designation of BFFC. To refresh the Commission's memory, DND conducted a public process that led to that vote and this subsequent request. DND held a community meeting in October 2020 to discuss with community members the continued use of these parcels for urban agriculture. The community support for the project was strong and DND moved toward an RFP. The RFP was issued on November 23rd, 2020 and advertised in the State Central Register and the Boston Herald. One proposal was received in response to the RFP and was determined to meet the eligibility criteria. A developer presentation was also held to discuss specific aspects of the development, and PFC and support from the community was strong. PFC approved the designation of Boston Food Forest Coalition Incorporated on April 14th, and the designation was advertised in the city record on May 17th and May 24th, 2021. Since designation, BFFC has received an award of $100,000 in development funds from the grassroots program, received a second CPA award of $100,000, completed design plans for the project, and further engaged the community in the development of these plans. The vote package includes a comprehensive memo about the project and PFC vote request. We've also provided handouts related to this vote request. Colleen, will you be presenting or shall I?
I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Sorry, hold on. Okay.
The first shows an aerial map of the parcel. The second is a satellite view of the parcel. The third is a street view. The fourth is the final design of the food forest and community garden, including a greenhouse, beehives, growing beds, open community space, and a living fence. This project has the support of Senator Nick Collins, City Councilor Andrea Campbell, City Councilor Michael Flaherty, the immediate abutters, and other neighbors. In summary, if PFC approves the vote request, it will result in the following public benefits. Return vacant property in D&D's inventory for approximately 39 years into productive use, preserve more than 3,700 square feet of land as protected open space, provide increased food access in a community experiencing food insecurity, and provide community gathering space. I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Shani. Any questions, Commissioner Moore?
No questions. Again, another great project. Motion to approve.
Seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Shani.
Thank you. Vote number 4 is hereby approved. Vote number 5 is also being presented by Shani Fletcher, Development Officer with the Neighborhood Housing Development Division of DND. Vote 5 is a request for tentative developer designation and intent to sell to the trustees of reservations for vacant land located at 21 and 23 Winthrop Street in Roxbury. Purchase price is recommended at $200. Shani, if you would please present vote number 5.
Thank you, Seamus. I'm here requesting PFC approval for the tentative developer designation of the trustees of reservations, hereafter referred to as the trustees, for the parcels identified in the vote package in the Roxbury section of Boston. This morning, we became aware that issues we previously thought were resolved regarding access to the existing garden, which abuts this site, and other concerns have been raised again. We take these concerns seriously, and we do not think they are insurmountable. We're committed to working closely with the neighbors, abutters, other neighbors, and the neighborhood association to address these issues as soon as possible. D&D conducted a public process that resulted in this vote request. D&D held community meetings in November 2020 and January 2021 to discuss with community members the potential uses for these parcels. Support by the community and the abutters was strong for use as a community garden, including art installations and representation of the local Black history on the site and in the community. A request for proposals was issued on March 15th, 2021, and advertised in the State Central Register and the Boston Herald. One development team applied to the RFP and was determined to meet the eligibility criteria. Based on community feedback and D&D review of the application against the RFP evaluation criteria, we recommend the designation of the trustees. The trustees own the abutting parcel, which already serves as a community garden. Acquisition of these 2 parcels would allow them to expand and redesign the existing garden, increasing food access and adding gathering space and other amenities for the surrounding community, as well as preserve them permanently as open space. The vote package includes a comprehensive memo about the project and PFC vote request. I've also provided 5 handouts related to this vote request, which are displayed on the screen. The first is an aerial map of the parcels. The second is a satellite view of the parcels. The third is a street view of the site. The fourth is one proposed design of the project developed with the community. It includes garden plots, rain garden, gathering space, a food truck area, native plantings, compost bins, and will also include space for art installations by local artists. The fifth is their other proposed design of the project, containing the same elements but in a different configuration. In summary, if PFC approves the vote request, it will result in the following public benefits. This proposed development will preserve a long vacant property as a food producing and gathering space for the neighborhood. In addition, the city will avoid almost $1,000 in annual maintenance costs and return this property to productive use after over 23 years in our inventory. I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Shani. Any questions, Commissioner Maloney?
Could you just clarify a little bit more about what was the issue that cropped up about funding or something for the site, or lack of or not approval of funding?
There was an issue regarding some neighbors were concerned about access to the existing garden, and therefore the funding of the expansion of that garden with the same owner being a concern because of these issues that we thought had been resolved, but were I think primarily about access, and there's also interest in local ownership. But those are the main issues that I'm aware of.
But the community has been involved in this process from day one, so
yes, we've been in communication with them over the past year and a half, and had thought that the issues were resolved as of several months ago, and we're just informed this morning that there's still a concern.
Okay.
And Commissioner, if I could add, this is a tentative designation, so we had a quick conversation. We only received that email around 9:30 this morning. So we are very committed to going back out to the community, resolving all issues before we come back to you for any kind of conveyance vote. We'll do a full reporting when we come back.
Perfect, that's great. I think with that, I put a motion to approve.
Okay.
Motion to approve?
Second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
Vote
you.
number 5 is hereby approved. Secretary Daly has alerted me to one other important piece of housekeeping business that we have to accomplish today. And so is there a motion to accept the meeting minutes of the Department of Neighborhood Development and the Public Facilities Department for their meeting that was held on June 25th, 2021?
Motion to approve meeting minutes for both agencies.
Seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Commissioners. That concludes the business of the Department of Neighborhood Development before the PFC today.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. 3 bangs on the gavel.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a